Started by you. Okay, so we're going. I think we're okay. I have to explicitly stop it, right? Transition, stop it. Okay. Yeah, I have to explicitly stop it. Okay. I don't need to let that little thing hang around. Okay, so I can do it two ways. We can start. One thing I can do is start you through the start of the chapter, and we can talk about branching. The topic this week is making decisions in code and letting the code go this way or that way to execute other pieces of code. So we can go through the first couple sections of Xi books. I can walk you through that. You may have some questions about that. If you don't have any questions about that, maybe we just jump directly to the assignment. So you both have a vote. What would you like to do? Has anybody had a chance to look at the book, the Xi books yet?
I've glanced over it. I haven't fully gone through it yet, but
Okay.
it seems pretty self-explanatory from like the first couple sections. So I don't mind jumping ahead, but whatever works.
All right. Well, the Heat voted, and he'd like to just step through the book. So, is that what I got? The Heat. He sent me a chat. Okay. Good. Okay. Let me let me open that up. And actually, here I can start sharing here. Select the screen, entire screen. Okay, allow. Okay, you all get to look at yourselves now. We had a fun look last week. We were able to get in theater seats, Nahit and I, and we were sitting next to each other watching the lecture. It was quite fun, as I recollect. And I don't know if I could repeat that or not. Video effects and settings. Let's try that. Oh no, I don't want to get into it. Let's just be done with that. Okay, so let's go ahead to the chapter, and so we need to visit this section here too. Random numbers. You're seeing my screen, okay? Everybody, okay. I can't see your faces while I have the screen.
We can see it. We're good.
You can see it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to visit random numbers here. I'm going to come back to it, but let's just start from the top. Okay, and you'll have to give me an audio because I can't see you. You're tucked behind here. So they start out with this example here. So you might be familiar with a restaurant, and you have a person up at the front who's steering people to different size tables. So they have the thing, and they put you on the waiting list, and I'm sure you've been through that. Okay, so here's a person that shows up. Okay, I have a party of one. Well, then you get to sit at the counter. If you have a party of two, then they're going to seat you at a table that'll seat two people. Otherwise, if you have 3 or 4 or more, we're going to seat you at a larger table. Okay, so we can read through here. Restaurant host seats patrons. The host seats a party of one at the counter. Party of two is seated at a small table. Okay, they're small tables. Okay. Other size parties are seated at large tables. Okay, and then you've probably seen the thing too where they can slide large tables together so you can accommodate any size you want. And nobody can hear each other, and I hate it. Anyway, the host mentally executes the algorithm. If party of one seated at the counter, else if the party is of two seated at a small table, else seated at a large table. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the animation here. So restaurant host seats a patron, and I guess one person came in there. Let's see if we can play it again. start it again. Okay, so party of 1, okay, shows up and seated at the counter. Okay, step 2, a party of 2 gets seated at the smaller tables, and a party of 4 gets seated over here. Party 1, 3, okay, here they come. All right, so there's how they would do it. So now the branching concept. Okay, a party 1 seats at, okay, you're going to have to turn your microphones on and let me hear this. You got to answer the questions for me. Okay, party 1 is sat at
A counter.
okay, the counter, good. So okay, party 2 sat at
Small table.
okay, a party of 5 is sat at
Large table.
okay. I don't know where nowhere would be. That's like out in the alley or something, out in the parking lot. Okay, so now we're moving ahead to use a flow chart, and I forgot whether have flow charts been introduced as yet. It probably
I think this is the first I've seen it.
okay, good. Yeah, basically these are steps in your code, and this is the decision. So when you see a diamond in there, it's a decision. So you enter the decision, and it's either true or false. That's it. So now you can gang these things together, and we'll actually do that, so you can make more complicated decisions. So in a program, a branch is a sequence of statements only executed under certain condition. So a hotel discount, let's say a hotel may discount a price only for people over age 65. If an if branch is a branch taken only if an expression is true. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is true, then we're going to take the true branch. Otherwise, we're going to take the false branch. The way the code reads is if this is true, execute. Else, do this. Okay, and we'll look at some code here shortly. But let's go ahead and just go through this exercise. Let's see, let me go ahead and just start it. And what do we got? Okay, so it's walking us through the steps. I'm not sure what the heck it did there, but if you go to the next step here, we go, okay, the rate is 55. So down here, the person's 68. 68 is greater than 65. So you'll take 20 off of the room rate. Okay. That all happened kind of quickly, but that's where you end up. So you took that off the room rate, then you just do the final statements. And you'll notice that if it was false, if we had a different number there, if we had something like 60, said the user age was 60, that's not greater than 65, so it's false. You come down here and you just take the room rate. You wouldn't adjust it like you did right here, okay? And I'm going to have to duck out and get a drink of water here, or get my glass of water. But anyway, if, let's see, let's make sure we read all this. If the user age is 68, then 68 is true. So the first branch executes, which discounts a hotel room. Captions, a decision leads to 2 program branches. If the expression is true, the first branch executes, else the second branch executes. If the user is 68, meaning that's true, the condition, we call that the condition, is true. So the first branch executes, which discounts the hotel room. Okay, so I already said that. Execution rejoins the other branch and continues subsequent statements until outputting 135. Well, we haven't finished this because we haven't given the output yet. So let's go ahead and execute the rest of this. Okay, so you see the program flow coming down through here. Your rate is output, and then 135 is output. So that's how it works. So let's go ahead and get your microphones open. Tell me the right answers here. So consider the hotel rate above, example above. If a user is age 20, does the true or false branch execute? So I'm going to put it back here so you can see it. So imagine that the user input 20 here. So which branch executes?
False.
All right. Okay, so if the user age is 20, does the executed branch update hotel rate? All right, so go back here, it's 20. You go to here, you go to false. What happens?
No.
It does not. Okay. If user age is 20, what hotel rate does the program output?
155.
155, yep. And just to belabor it, so we set a hotel rate to 155 in the beginning. You don't modify it, and it just ends up being what it was in the beginning, 155. Okay. If the user is 70, what hotel rate does the program get? That'll probably, go ahead, just tell me.
135.
Yeah, okay. So do the last two statements always execute for any value of user age?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay, you guys are on it. All right, so now let's see if we do anything different. Okay, so here's an example where you want to get the absolute value. And here's the code to do it. So the user inputs a value, and if he puts in a negative number, then we test for that. So a negative number would be less than 0, right? So then you just say the minus value of the value, stick it back in value, and then we'll output the thing. So let's see, let's enter execution. Let's just watch it go here. Okay, so value gets set, input is 99. So if we step again, now we're going to compare. Okay, well, and then took one extra step. We had to step in order to show the variable up here, 99. Now we're at the, I guess we're one behind. So I'm going to step, and it'll actually execute this this comparison. So with minus 99, it's true, right? So then we're going to execute this. We're going to take the negative of value and stick it back in value. So, all right, so wham. So we're over here. So now we're going to say, okay, what's the value of val? This is the variable. The value is minus 99. So when we execute this thing, it should flip it. Voila, it did. Okay, and then we bounce out of the decision structure, and we're going to put that, which actually puts it to the output. So we'll see plus 99 in the output right here. Okay, so it's got some questions about that. So if the input is minus 6, does the branch execute?
Yes.
Okay, if the input is 0, does the branch execute?
No.
That's correct, because 0 is not less than 0.
So
All right.
when we write it out in code and we were to run the code, because 0 is equivalent to 0 and therefore not greater than itself, would the code just error out?
No.
Like when it says like does not execute?
Does the branch execute? Okay, so the branch would be this true branch. All right, so that's what it's saying. So if it's 0, so 0 is not less than 0, so it's false. So you go this way. So it is executing the code. It's just not taking that branch.
Got it.
Does that answer that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a subtle one, and I mean, I'm glad they got to that right away. So okay, and Taylor, thanks for asking that question. And I noticed Jose joined us, and welcome. Did you have a microphone today, Jose?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. I'm asking some questions. We're going through the Xi books. I hope this is not redundant for you. Everybody on already expressed that they hadn't looked at it yet. So we're just going to walk through a couple of sections until you get the idea.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're in the if-else branch. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're actually representing code. We're looking at it from a flow chart standpoint. Okay, so you got these various boxes that you execute, and I guess that if you look at this, this is a rectangle, and this would be like a parallelogram, right? And you notice that in flowcharts, by the way, are something that they're instructive, but they're not used all the time. People usually find that they can express themselves, after they understand it, just with the code. So anyway, with the parallelogram, it represents input and output. So you see these two here are output, so it's input and output to and from the program, and then this would be execution of instructions, and then this actually represents execution of a condition. So we're trying to find out, is it true or false? Okay, and most of the time we're looking for a range or something. So we're using less than, greater than, less than or equal to as the conditions. So an if-else branch has two branches. The first branch is executed if an expression is true, else the other branch is executed. Okay, so in the example below, if a user inputs an age less than 25, the statement insure price equals 4,800 executes. Else the insurance price of 2,200 executes. Okay, so yeah, we need to charge those people some more. So I'm not sure anybody in this class fits into that category, right? I'm just teasing. So okay, so if the user's age is less than 25, yeah. Also remember too that that's kind of the cutoff for renting a car as well. So you might travel someplace and it's like, oh. So I was real happy to have reached age 25 when that time came. So anyway, let's go. Let's see, we can start this thing and we'll try a couple different things. So we'll enter the execution and then step. Let's see what it does for us. User age, get the user's input age. It's 22, okay? So we should have it now. Well, in fact, it has input here. I can tell it's input. It hasn't executed yet because it's not in the user age variable. So I step it. And by the way, this is simulating how code debugger would work. And it's probably something too that if you get the chance, take a look at the debugger in your IDE and see how it works. It works very similar to this, and you can examine then the variables and see, is this thing behaving the way I think it should? So 22, is 22 less than 25? Yes. So we expect it to go this way, right? So step, whammo, that's where it goes. Okay, so now the insurance price is going to be set to $4,800 when I step this. So we're going to watch that happen. Okay, so let's step it. Boom, there she goes. Okay, so now we're out of the condition statement. Now we came down this side, and now we're just simply going to output first a label to let the user know what we're talking about. If you just flip 4,800 out on the screen, it's like, huh? Okay, what's that? So give it a label. So that's the first thing that goes out here. So annual price, and then the next thing that goes out is the actual insurance price, 4,800. So I don't think this thing, I'm not sure it runs again. Well, maybe it runs in another one. Let me step it again. What's it going to do? Okay, start again. Let's see if it'll start again with a new number. Input is 22. It's the same. And I don't know if I can change it. Let's change it to 45. Okay, I can't do it. No, it won't let me change it. But you can see how that would go. If it was 45 it's not true. So 45 would be less, greater than 25. So it makes this statement false. You drop down here and you'd set the price to 2,200. So, okay, so with all of that, and Jose, chime in too. Everybody's answering these questions. So consider the insurance price example above. If the user is 18, what price is output? I'll show you the code again.
4,800.
4,800. Here we go. Blammo. And it's correct. Okay, if the user age is 30, what's the price? So put 30 in here.
2,200.
2,200. Okay. Boom. All right. So if the age is 25, what is the output?
2,200.
2,200. Okay. So 25. Yeah, I think you're right. 22 is not less, or 25 is not less than 25. So there you go. Yeah. So he gets the discount. Finally, reached the age of 25. So for what value of user age will both branches execute? Oh, interesting.
None.
None of them, none of the above. Okay, good. So for what value of user age will the output statement not execute?
None.
Yeah, it's going to execute one way or the other. And I think that goes back to your previous question, Taylor, that if you get 0, what actually happens? And it does execute. So this is kind of asking that same question again. What if you put in 25, you know, and so we already went through that. Okay, if else max. Okay, the example below shows an if else can be used to get the maximum of 2 values. Okay, so the user inputs a value for X and puts a value for Y, and then you just compare them. So if X is greater than Y, well then X is the max, right? Else Y is the max. And then you just put the output max. Now this time they put a nice label on it. Tisk, tisk. Why would they do that terrible thing? Well, let's watch it execute and see what we get. Okay, so it's going to input 2 numbers at the same time, 55 and 79. So 55 goes in X. That's the first one that comes in, then Y. So we can actually predict what's going to go on here. The max one is pretty obvious. It's 79. Okay, so if you put 55 in X, is that greater than 79? No. So we're going to go down here and we're going to get Y in max. Okay, so let's just step through and make sure that that's the way it is. So we get X. Okay, so when I press this, then we're going to see X set. Okay, so 55 is set, and then we expect that if I step again, then I'll see 79 going there. Now we're going to do the evaluation of the condition, and it will be false. So we'll go down this way. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to set max to whatever is in Y. So I expect max to be 79 shortly. There we go, and then we simply output it right there. There it is. All right, so we've got a few questions, and else. Okay, so we're building this thing up here. So consider the above example. When the input is -3 and 0, which branch executes? -3 for X and 0. Which
Else.
branch executes? The else. Okay. Yep. So Y 0 is the max in that particular case. So we're going to do the else. All right. So when the input is 99 and 98, which branch executes? So 99 and 98.
If.
The true branch, right? Which is the if branch. All right. So if the branch assigns maximum to X, the else branch assigns max to
X.
actually it assigns it to Y. So this
Y.
the if, see the if
Oh.
branch assigns the max to X, and then the else branch. So here's the if branch, here's the else branch, and it's Y, right? Unless you wanted to do X, not so good. Okay, we'll do Y. Okay, so I'll let you guys do it. So if the inputs are, yeah, I'm glad they're checking these out here. So if the inputs are 5 and 5, does max X get assigned with X or Y?
Y.
5 and 5, yes, not equal, so it's the Y value. Okay. So now we're I don't remember whether we talk about case statements, but you see how we're stacking these conditional statements up now. And there's this notion of a case. So let's see, it's a switch. It's a switch statement, and then it has these various cases. So this arrangement is very similar to a switch statement where you would examine each of the cases, and then based on that case, you would execute some code. So, and you notice here too that it executes some code and then jumps right through. All of the other conditions are not tested. Now, there may be a condition, or there may be a situation where you want to, if this, I want to test. Well, you're testing again on false, but you may want to test again on true as well. So it can get kind of complicated here. But this one here is backing up a bit. This is an if, else, else. So here's the if statement, but then this is an else. So it's else down here, if, a new one. Else, if, a new one, else, and then you're out. All right. And this can get large and complicated. So we can handle a lot of stuff. So there can be lots of errors that can happen in trying to set this up. So just be cautious. All right, let's just read through it. Commonly, a programmer wishes to take one of multiple, 3 or more branches. An if-else can be extended to an if-else structure. Each branch's expression is checked in sequence. As soon as one branch's execution is found to be true, that branch is taken. Okay. If no expression is found true, execution will reach the else branch, which then executes. So if it's not this, and it's not that, and it's not that, then you'll fall out. This is the final else, and out you go. And you'll perform what other code is represented by that oval. And that's not, is that an oval? I don't know what the heck that thing is. So, okay. So we could watch this thing go. So number of years equals get next year. Okay, number of years equals 1. Number of years, okay, these are equals, right? We're looking for equals now. So if you put 1, you put 25, or you put 50 in there, you're going to get, these are the anniversary somebody made up, this is your golden anniversary, and other than that, just congratulations that you made it that far. Okay, so now I don't think we get to put in any variables here. Let's start. Okay, so we're going to put in 1, I think. Let's see, variables, number of years. Get the user input. Did we put in what we got? I think the variable number of years is 0, so it's going to fall right through. So let's try this. If that's what it really has. All right, you're right. So it hit all the way through, and if you have 0, well, it's going to say congratulations that you made 0 years. So, all right, so let's try it again. let's go back to the beginning. Okay, I think I can put in a number here. So let's put, I think I can put a number in here. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know where to put the number in.
It doesn't let you change the output. It just runs the sequence and then it asks you questions in regards to it at the bottom.
I see. Okay, I was going to try to, thank you. Okay, well then let's, all right, consider the if-else structure. If x equals -1, put disagrees to output. If it's x is equals to 0, put neutral. If x equals 1, agrees. Okay, otherwise put invalid entry. All right, so if x is 1, what's the output? So
Agrees.
agrees, so x equals 1, so we get agrees. Okay, we're happy. Okay, so if it's -2, well, it's not that one, it's not that
Invalid.
one, it's not that one, so invalid entry, right? All right, so now, could the programmer have written the branches in the order x equals 1, x equals 0, and x equals -1 and achieve the same result?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you have these, they have to happen in a certain order, otherwise, and there are certain assumptions made. So, yeah, if this one, yeah, if it's that, do it. If it's that. And in fact, well, yes, I guess this is that structure that I was telling you about. They're each mutually exclusive, you might say, because I can execute this one. And because I put the else in there, it pops right out and goes to the bottom. If I left the else out, then it would be obliged to test this one, then test that one without the else, you know. So, but with the else's on here, it's one complete structure. And so whenever one of these triggers, whenever one of these conditions triggers, say like this one, you know, this one didn't, that one didn't, this one did, blam. Okay, you got that, and then out you go. And that's, I guess, what we're showing here, and that's that case. I want to see, you know, what I can have these possible outputs. Let's say 5 of them, you know, and I put the 5 different conditions up like this, or code it like this, and then it will test until it finds the one that actually is true, and then does something about it, and else will fall out the bottom and nothing will have happened. So that's there's a formal structure called the switch statement. It operates like that. So
Yeah, I think I understand most of it now. I think if everyone else is ready, we can move on to the assignment like you were talking about.
okay.
I'm gonna have to leave in like 5 minutes.
All
I was
right.
only able to allocate enough time to just ask questions and then go over this.
Okay. Right. So I can move on to the assignment. Everybody in agreement with that? Say aye. Okay, we're moving on. So let's see. Let's go back to the and Taylor. Yeah, you can leave at any time. Appreciate you letting me know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so in the content, let me open that up. So we have week 3, lesson 3. And by the way, you're going to notice here the lessons are in sync. So you have lesson 4 and week 4, and then lesson 5 is, or week 5 is the exam, such that lesson, and it keeps going to the top. Lesson 5 is on week 6, and then after the exam that we have, then you know we continue to get 1 week off. So the weeks and the lessons only sync up right now. So I'm going to go to, every time I click on one of these, it scrolls to the top. All right, we'll go to the to do, and we have, I put in here an example program, but like Nahit was just saying, the Zybooks covers it so well, I didn't even try to give an example program. Okay. All right, so then let's go to the, go back to do, and here are the homework instructions, which I already have right here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is create a lottery program, and I've got all the details written out here, and here's some example output. But what I've also done is identify tests. So you can simplify this thing. The program actually works with random numbers. Let's go back to here. I've actually pulled up the code, and I have a test program and I have the lottery program here. So let me go ahead and show you how it works. So we'll just go ahead and run it. Wham. And actually, let's clear it and run it again. Let me clear it again. Let me end the program. Okay, clear it again. I'm going to run it right from the top, clean. Okay, so here's the program. So the first thing it tells you, guess the 3 numbers I have chosen. So the computer's chosen some numbers, okay, between 0 and 10. Okay, guess 1 right, and you get $10. Guess 2 right, and you get 100. Guess 3 right, in any order, you get 1,000. And you guess them all in the exact order, you get $1 million. So, and it's all made up, and it's like that Drew Carey show, right? It's all made up money, and it's just for fun. Okay, so enter your first number. I'm gonna go with 145, or 1, 4, and 5. Okay, hey, we guessed them. We guessed 2 matches. You win 100. So we matched on 4, and we matched on 1. Okay, so let's run it a couple of times and see. I'll choose the same number. We won't get any more variables. Okay, I got 1 match on 4. Okay, so we get $10. Okay, we run it again. 1, 4, 5, and no matches. Now it doesn't take money away from you, and since each program, we're starting it again, so there's no recollection of what your winnings were last time. It's just right now, you make your bet, and here's how much you get. So there's no, yeah, you have no skin in this game at all. You just say, here are my numbers, and oh shucks, I lost. But if you win, you get money. Okay, so Las Vegas would not like this program. So anyway, we didn't match at all, and we'll run it again. And 1, 4, 5. Okay, so none of them match again, and the possibilities are high for not matching at all. So so there we go. Okay, so now the thing that you'd like to do is test your program, and so that's what I have this program for. So let's move over to this one. I'm going to clear everything out, and we'll go ahead. And one of the things I asked you for was how many test cases are there. So so this is a test case. Okay, what are the values that I have to put in order to test to make sure that works. So if I put in 1, 5, and 6, well, I'm going to match on 1, okay, and I matched actually 3 times, but I only get credit for 1, okay, so that's a 1 match. All right, and here's another of the same thing. So, and in fact, that was position 1. Okay, so I moved the 1 to position 2, and we should get a 1 match. Okay, and then if I move it to position 3, you should get a 1 match. Okay, and I'm just gonna show you this much, because part of the exercise is to tell me how many test cases there are. So here's a repeat 2 or matches on 2. Okay, so here's a 1, 1. Well, yeah, here's 1, 1, here's 2, 2, 3, 3. Here's 1 and 1 like that. Here's 2 and 2 like that. And okay, so with 1, 2, 3 as the input, we match on 1. You don't get credit for 2. Same thing here. I've got 2, and you only get credit for 1. Okay. So that's the program. That's the assignment. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Here's an example of you know, how the thing works. Let's see, we did a 1, 2, 3, got a 1. You matched on 1 here. Well, you matched on 2 of them. So 1 and 2 out here. They're not the same position. So you get 2 match and win 100. And then this one here is 2 and 3. And well, this one says you match all 3. So they're not in the same order. Get rid of that. So this is the condition or the winning combination that you got. So you win $1,000 here. And I don't think I showed. Okay, so the 10, 100, and 1,000. And I'm not sure. No, I didn't show you. That would be another test case where if you got if its pick was 1, 2, 3, and you got one, or you guessed 1, 2, 3 in that order, then that would be the big jackpot. So so this is trying to explain then. Okay, 1 match. Computer picks 1, 2, 3. You guessed 1, 4, 5. Identify the rest, if any. All right. 2 matches, 3 matches, and then the exact match, and then no matches. There are a lot of these, so you don't have to test very much to have one of these happen. So I said I found 47, and if you can find any that I missed, you get extra points. How's that? I don't think anybody's going to get extra points, but you can try me. So where did everybody go? Okay. There you are. Wow, we lost everybody. Well, Julian, I guess it's you and me. Or Jose, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm still here.
You're
Yeah.
still here? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, I guess, go ahead.
I just had a quick question. I
Sure.
didn't get to make it to last week's meeting. And also, I ordered a PC, so I'm getting my computer around the weekend. I think the latest by Sunday. I haven't completed the homework or the quiz for week 1 and 2. Is there any way that I can complete those by the time I get my PC and get some credit for that? Or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, I want you to do that.
Thank
I
you,
want,
because I was planning on looking at the recordings from last Thursday and everything on the course and just getting caught up on the week 1 and week 2.
all right. Yes, I have the recording for both of those, and I'm making the recording right now. So, yes, I'll make those available. I was telling, before you got on the call today, I was talking to Taylor, and she's not going to be able to make it to these meetings either. And one of the things I don't want to do is just be recording a lecture and then handing it out.
Yeah.
But maybe I need my head adjusted or something. I need my thinking adjusted. But yeah, my experience in this is the second time that I've done this online lecture here. Prior, it was everybody was on their own, and if they had any questions, they had to just send me an email or something,
Okay.
or else I would give the feedback in the in along with their assignment feedback, you know, and I
Yeah.
tell them what I saw.
Yeah, no, I do
So
plan on
anyway,
going into the meetings. I can make it every Thursday. I just I'm a little behind on the computers. So I had to buy one and gonna arrive pretty soon, and then after that I should be good to go. I just need to get caught up on week 1 and week 2.
And now week 3.
Yeah.
So, okay, okay. So have you been able to do any work until your computer comes? Have you like sketched out your plan for your program maybe?
No, but as far as I remember, I did go on Zybooks when I think it was our first meeting where you were explaining how it kind of works, and I was able to get on it on my iPad, but I think that's kind of as far as I've gone right now. I can also try and maybe see if I can do any of that on my iPad.
Yeah, if you can do the exercises in Zybooks on your iPad, I think you're going to be miles ahead. So I'm going to suggest that you really dig in deep. And Taylor was asking too, how much of the Zybooks do we have to cover? And I said, much or as little as you need in order to finish the assignment and take the quiz and get a decent score.
Yeah, of course.
So, and she was saying that, I guess she's got kind of a schedule crunch and that she just doesn't have the time. So, well, that's the rub, that's
Yeah. No, yeah, I do plan
college,
on attending the meetings.
Yeah. So,
I think it's a lot better to do it in person than just to watch the recordings, in my opinion. But
yeah, well, then like right now we're having an interchange here. So that's the beauty of, we can do it electronically, but even if we were in a classroom situation, that's kind of the ultimate. And I think that people are finding that, even though we have this great technology, the old-fashioned way is, here, show me, will you, please?
yeah,
And
yeah, of course.
so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
If yeah, the main thing that's hard for people to do is be able to articulate their question sometimes, and sometimes it was pointed out to me some number of years ago that if your only choice is to formulate a question and write it down and then send it to the person, a lot of times in formulating your question, you actually are able to answer your question. So
Yeah.
and then in the vein of there's no dumb question, um, uh, if you were in a classroom situation, you probably would have just asked the question and it would have gotten answered. But when you try to formulate it, to write it to somebody, and you may figure it out. Then again, you may not.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes in formulating that question, you start to get other questions spin off. So
Yeah.
it's a learning experience. It's a learning experience. So
Yeah, of
learning
course.
how to do it without a person present is actually a skill that it's not a bad skill to learn, to
Yeah.
be able to.
And so is the best way to contact you, would it be emailing you through Front Range or
No,
through like,
through the best way to contact me while the semester is going is through the class the D2L messaging system.
D2L? Okay. So not the
Yeah.
smart, like not the student email, but the D2L, the course?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I Unfortunately, I don't get over to the formal Front Range email that often, but since
Okay.
I'm looking at the course uh, much more often, daily, um,
Okay,
I'll see
perfect.
those messages come in, and those are the messages that are pertinent to the class. So
Okay.
yeah. Otherwise, if it goes in through the regular the Microsoft Office email that the school has, then it just gets mixed up with everything else. And I'm getting messages there from, you know, the administration and people trying to sell me books and, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So it can easily get lost there. And that has a capability of having a junk drawer as well. So your message could come into the junk. I don't know why it would, because you'd be sending it with your student email, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That wouldn't get sent into the junk.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, I'm okay with you getting caught up. You're a little bit behind now. Last week's lesson was a little bit tough in that it required some math to do that one. The first lesson is like it's a cakewalk. The next lesson is a little bit more involved. And then this lesson here, this third one, this third assignment, um, it's um, it's it's more involved again because we're learning about branching, which I just went over the first part, and so, but I think I owe you one more, and if you'll be patient, let me just show you. Let's see, I gotta go back to Zybooks again. Okay. So the one thing, in order to make that program work that I just showed you, it has a random number component, and so if I go over here to the lottery game, see it's picking a number. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta go over here. Let me clear this out. Okay, let me run this thing. Okay. So, yeah, I did 1, 4, and 5. Okay. So these numbers that the computer is picking are random numbers between 0 and 10. In fact, I think that might be a mistake because I think I set it up to be 0 through 9. Anyway, so if I just do the same thing again, I want to, it did 5, 2, and 2 again. I wanted to show you that it's random. Let me run it again. It's possible it'll randomly pick the same thing again. Okay, there you go. 2, 2, 1, 4. And we have a match on 4. So it says, yeah, 1 and 4 we got a match on. So we earned we won $100.
Yeah.
So in this case here, it was a match of 5. So it's one match, and I think this is the same. Yeah, it's interesting that it got the same number twice, but it's random. Now, so let me go back to the book. And in chapter 2, they go through how to do random numbers. So, so here's an example, and here's exactly yeah, here's a piece of code. This is a piece of Java code that actually generates 3 random numbers. So here are the evidently these are the random numbers that it produces. And we can actually, I don't know, you want to see this thing in action? I can actually put this code. One of the other things you're going to have to do, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just, I was saying like, yeah, I want to see it.
All right. Yeah, I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let me create a new folder, and I'll put this code in here. So by Zybooks example here. and it's called random. Okay, I think I got everything that I need. 3 random values. Okay, so I'm gonna put this code here. I'm gonna make a new text file, and it's called 3 random values. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to open it up just in the text editor, and then I'm just going to copy this and paste it into there. Paste. Okay. All right, then I'm going to save this, and yeah, it can be done. Okay. Then I'm going to change this to a Java file. Okay, a few extra steps. Somebody else could probably do it quicker than me. Okay, so here we are, 3 random values. And I think I've got everything that I need to do here. And I'm going to get rid of these guys here. I'm going to clear the output. Okay, so 3 random values. Let's see if we can make this thing work. Wow. Here you go. So it even is minus. Okay. And if I run it again, I should get 3 totally different numbers. Yeah, there you go. And every time you run it, it gives numbers all over the place. So that's good. So what they call this is a pseudo random number generator, and the reason for that is it actually is some code that's running. It's based off of the clock of your computer, and a random number is generated from that. So so the way this works is this is the key here. You're going to make a new random. So this, and I don't know if what this tells you is the type that you're creating. And we've created integers and strings and floats. And are you familiar with those terms, Jose?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to have to go through chapter 2 real carefully then.
Yeah, for sure.
Because those are data types. And those are what you might call the primitive data types. However, in Java, everything is an object. So even those, if you took a class in C++, those would be primitive data types. So anyway, they remain the basic building blocks, or the kind of the types that the workhorse types maybe is another way to express them. But this is a type that's based on the class or the object random. So you're creating a new instance of random right here, and you're calling it rand gen. Okay, and you can call it anything you want. You can put any name you want right there. Okay. Yeah, actually here, this is the type right here, and this is actually the constructor of a new type. That's what it is. So you're saying, I want to make a new based on that constructor. And I'm way ahead of where you need to be right now. But that's the type right there, and we're calling it this. So then you use that, and you run the code that says, give me the next integer, give me the next integer. 3 times you do that. And so in your program, what you're going to do is you're going to use this to come up with a number between, let's see, where's the homework instruction? Yeah, right. There you go. My program has got, it's between 0 and 9. My program says 10. But what you're going to do is get the 10 integers between 0 and 9. So that's 10 values. I put in my comment 10 right here, and it should be 9. So you just need to come up with a range using this. Okay, so now let's go back to the book, and they're telling you how random numbers work, and then they get down here, setting a specific range. Okay, and let's see, a technique above generates random numbers with n possible values ranging from 0 to n minus 1, like 6 values from 0 to 5. Okay, so you want a range, okay, from 0 to 5, for instance, or in our case for the program it says 0 to 9. So commonly a programmer wants a specific range that starts with some value x that isn't 0, like 10 to 15 or minus 20 to plus 20. The programmer should first determine the number of values in the range, generate a random integer with that number of possible values, and then add x to adjust the range to start with x. Okay, so let's go through this example here. So we're going to start this thing and let's see where it takes us. Okay, so you want a number from between 10 and 15, I think. 6 possible choice values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So you want 6 values. 15 minus 10 is 5 plus 1 is 6 values. Okay. The programmer wants random integers in the range 10 to 15. The number of possible values is 6. You do that formula. People often forget the plus 1, so you don't want to do that. Okay, so read this thing. The programmer wants random integers in the range 1 to 15. The number of possible values is 15 minus 10 plus 1. We've been over that. Random next 6 generates 6 possible values as desired, but range 0 to 5. Okay, so let's go to our program and try that. So if I put 6 in one of these, and that's what it says right down here, next int. So I'm going to put 6 right here. So instead of getting these huge numbers that we saw down here already, let's see what that does. Hey, look at that, we got a 4. So that helps a lot. Okay, so now the next int 6 generates 6 possible values as desired, but within the range 0 to 5. Adding 10 still generates 6 values, but now these values start at 10. Okay, so all I got to do is add 10 to that. And let's see, I need to, so all of this operates together, so I need to add the 10 to whatever that result is. So I'm going to put this thing in parentheses, and then I will add 10 to it. Okay, so see if we haven't broken something. Ooh, 12. Okay, so that's good, works. I can change this one to 6 as well, so you can see, still see how that works. Yeah, see now this one's coming out. This one's in the range, the second one here is in the range 0 through 6. Okay, so let's see what the animation does further. Okay, yeah, here generates 6 possible values, but within the range of 0 to 5. Okay, and then if we add 10 to it, right, ran gen 6, next 10, then you get 10 through 15. And that's how that works, and that's what we just did over here. So that's how you would get. Now, for our test program, or for our the assignment this time, you'll just put in there 9, right? Because you want 0 to 9. So we don't have to offset it any. So let's go ahead and run that. And so now you get 8. In fact, if I run it again, we expect to see some different. Now you get a 0 there. Run it again. Still get a 0. Come on, be random. There we get a 1. Okay, but you're seeing the other values. Remember, this one's 0 through 5. What is 0 through 5? Yep. You get 5 once. You get 3 once. You get 3 again. And then 0 through 9, I put that in. So you get 8 once and 0 twice, and then 1. And there you go. So in fact, okay, you tell me, Jose, if you wanted to simulate flipping a coin, what would you do?
Would that be like 0 through 1 or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could go back to our code here.
Because it could only be 0 or 1, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That would be like a binary choice, right? And in fact, on a dice. So this one, okay, so this one here is for like our homework, homework 3. Homework 3 would do that one. I think if you do a dice, there are 6 possible options because 6 is the highest you can get on a dice, right?
Yeah.
And let me insert another one here. And we'll just do a coin. And so these are, yeah. So we just need, I think it's actually 2. And we'll get 1 and 0, 1 and 0, 1 and 0. I need 2 choices. And if it's wrong, I just change it here. Okay, so let me just run it and see what we get. We get a 0. We get a 0 again. We get a 0 again. 0 again. Oh my goodness. 1. We got a 1 finally. Okay, but I don't think we're ever going to get a 2 in this position. That's the coin, right? And we can fix this too. Let's see, coin. Okay, I think that works. Oh boy, it's something didn't like something here. What did I do wrong? I think it's the way I put a plus in here. I forgot. There we go, coin. Okay, so I can do. Let me fix this one too. Dice plus, and then put homework 3. Okay. All right. So now you can see clearly, and we can even put in this one here. We can say this is random 10 through 15. Yeah, and you can see too where this off by 1. So you normally say, okay, 10 to 15, that's 5. Subtract 15 minus 10, and it's 5. But you actually have 6 actual values because the one of them's inclusive. So, okay, so we can run it now. Okay. Uh-oh, 210. That's not right. So how did that happen? 6, 210. 210. Something's. I think I got a parentheses mixed up or something. Yeah, that's what I got. I got the wrong number of parentheses. Okay, I need one more back here. There we go. How do you like that? Okay, so those match. Those match. That doesn't match. I should match this one. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Let me come in from the inside. So those two match. Plus 10. Those match. Let me run it again. 210. That's wild. 110. Yeah, that's pretty strange. Still 210. 110. Something really weird. Let me try to put parentheses around that whole thing. Okay, so this is still the outer one. That's the inner one. So we're saying I want random gen next 6. Whatever the full result of that is plus 10. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah. 14, yeah. I think because you use a plus and it concatenates, we ended up for the string for the random number, and then we concatenated on 10. And I guess that's, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but there's a problem that if you get your parentheses mixed up, you can have free and have lots of fun. So yeah, so I put a parentheses around that whole expression. So I want that all to evaluate, and then I want the result then to be concatenated on here. So now we get 114, and in fact, if I run it again, I expect 11. Okay, and the coin tosses are still getting a lot of zeros. There's a 1. Okay. So that's that. Any questions? We're up almost to the top of the hour here, Jose.
Yeah, it seems pretty understandable. I think I got it how to make it so it works.
Yeah. Now, one of the things when you get your computer, what kind of computer are you going to get?
It's a desktop computer. So I'm gonna have to get like a CPU and all those parts, the SSD card and the motherboard, and they should all be coming in pretty soon.
You're building a computer.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Woo.
I was gonna buy one, but I think it would be a lot cheaper to just buy the parts and then build it myself.
Oh boy. All right. Well, so you ever done that before?
No, but I was back in high school. I did want to build it, so I was like a really like into the parts and stuff. So I kind of have an idea of it, but I just did my research again and I picked up the parts that I need for now. So all I need to do is just like build it and build it carefully, and after that it should work.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, my son-in-law actually built me a computer with a graphics card on it, so and it's pretty speedy.
Nice.
The darn thing is, it's a it's water cooled. It doesn't
Oh,
just have
that's
a fan.
nice.
Yeah, and in
That's
fact,
cool.
heat heat is the number one killer of your computer. So
Yeah.
so just make sure that you're going to get a motherboard, right? You're going to have a CPU
Yeah, of
on
course. Yeah, CPU. Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah,
All
mine
right,
is also gonna have a graphics card and stuff.
all right. So one of the things, did you get a what the heck do they call them? You need a heat sink, um,
Yeah.
and then you need the special silicon paste that
Yeah,
you
like the
put.
thermal paste.
Yes, you put that down, then
Yeah.
put your heat sink on top of it, and then you make sure the heat sink is held tight against it so that it always has good thermal conduction.
Yeah, of
And
course.
okay, you got all of that.
Yeah. Hopefully it goes well, but
Well, I'd hate for you to burn up your CPU. Uh,
yeah, I think the thermal paste that I got should work with the CPU that I'm getting. But
I'm glad to hear that you thought about that and you got all that happening. And
yeah.
so you're going to get some solid state drive, you said?
What was that?
You're getting SSD, solid state,
Yeah,
solid
SSD
state.
card, yeah.
Yeah, what is SSD? SSD, solid state device. I think that's what it stands for.
Yeah, like the 1 terabyte.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. I knew a guy that worked at Seagate, and I told him, man, the future is going to be solid state and all this spinning parts and stuff. Oh no, that'll never happen. You know, so here we are. Now it took a few years to happen since when I first told him, but I mean, here we are, and the notion of having this disk spinning up at 3,200 RPM or whatever it is, it's and the problems associated with that, you got it's like a gyroscope, right? And it wants to stay in that position, and you're walking around with it, and so you got these forces that are happening all the time because it's trying to resist that. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, luckily, the mass of a spinning disk isn't all that great, but I could imagine that there are factors, and then you got the heads in there trying to, on each side of the platter, and oh, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck. So do you have all the parts yet?
I have the case and the cooler came in today, and then Amazon is gonna deliver them the rest of the parts on Saturday and Sunday, I believe. And so, in the weekend, I would just build it myself and see how that goes, and then start
All right.
getting caught up
Well,
on the homework.
yeah, keep me posted. One of your other alternatives, like, okay, so do you live near a campus? If you live near a campus, you may be able to um, sit down at one of the community computers and be able to do some of this work.
Yeah, I'm
You
like
know,
the closest is Westminster, which is like 40 minutes away from me, so it's not too close. But
oh boy. So whereabouts do you live?
I live in Glendale near the Cherry Creek Mall.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of far.
that's a pretty good jaunt. Okay. Hmm. Yep. Well, ooh. Well, I wish you luck then getting your computer built.
Yeah, thank you,
Um,
man. I appreciate that.
so you got the monitor and the keyboard and all that stuff, huh?
Yeah, I have the monitor and the keyboard before everything, so all I need is like just like the hardware, the desktop itself.
Okay, so you got, let's see, my brother-in-law, my son-in-law built that computer for me. He put it inside a box that had all of the, well, it had a place to mount the motherboard, and then of course you got expansion slots. But the power supply, the power supply came with its own fan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but that's for the just the power supply. So the putting a heat sink alone, you may have to mount fans to blow across that motherboard to
Oh
keep that.
yeah, the case came with fans, but I do plan on getting 3 more.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he set me up with water cool or liquid cool. I have no idea what kind of liquid's in there. Maybe it's just water
Oh,
that
that's nice. That's really cool.
circulates around, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know how hot the water gets, but
Yeah.
it's transporting the heat away from that chip.
Yeah, I've heard of those. Those are really cool.
Yep. So anyway, I think that's it for today, and I'll get these. I'll stop the video
Okay.
that we're recording right now, and I'll make it available. And I haven't made the previous weeks available, but
Yeah, and then if you would just wouldn't mind making those available for me, where can I find them? On
um,
D2L?
yeah, you'll find them. I'm either going to post them publicly, or I'll send them to you directly through a
Yeah, that
D2L
sounds good.
message.
Okay, perfect.
One way or another.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, we'll see you. We'll see you around. And let's see, if you don't have a computer this week, I guess you're going to have to catch up on 3 assignments.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
All right. Well,
appreciate that.
I'm gonna stop the recording then, and I'll send you what I get.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.